All right, what's up, guys? Doug Polk here. We just wrapped up some dinner.
How many fucking scotches have you had today, Doug?
I've had a few.
Tell me the truth. What's the number? 8?
I've actually, let me think about this.
10? 11?
I think I'm in the like 8 to 10 range. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know the exact number we're working with. But
I know they closed this restaurant hours ago, and we're still here somehow.
We are. So we actually played all night. And then we came. What was the name of this place again? It was actually really good. What was the name of it?
Gibson's. This is Gibson's. So Gibson's in Chicago is amazing. And this is Gibson's down. Where are we? In Philly?
We're in Philly. We are in Philly. By the way, look at it. They're here. No way.
What time is it? I'm checking the time here.
We got what's up, guys?
It's
by the way,
2:30 a.m. on the East Coast, by the way. So it's
2:30.
11:30 on the West Coast.
But we got a lot of Europeans on the channel, so they're stopping by, they're checking it out, hanging out with the man, the legend, Phil Hellmuth. That's right, guys.
By the way,
We are back.
I'm betting you at over 10 scotches today, but to be fair, spread over like 10 hours.
It was okay. So I would take. I think 10's a fair line. I think 10's a fair line. And honestly, like, you know, Jeremy loves to drink, so I was getting in there, making it happen. So you said you had
this fucking guy won $70-some thousand today playing at Poker Night in America, sitting on my left, picking up every fucking hand, and I was just like, I wasn't jealous. A lot of times I'm jealous. I'm like, all right, he's running like God, whatever, you know. But I was a little bit annoyed. Where are my hands? Where are my hands? I must have picked up 7 deuce. I know I picked up 7 deuce more than everybody else, but maybe more than everybody else combined. I wish we were playing the 7 deuce.
We're gonna break new territory here, but it turns out high pocket pairs are good hands.
Yeah, but I have something that I broke out of the box today, by the way.
Nice. What are we working with?
These are the music headphones, M-U-Z-I-K, and look, Jumpman, Jumpman.
We got Jordan here.
Man. Yeah, look at the MJ logo. I broke this out of the box and I couldn't believe it. MJ's logo on here. So these are the best headphones ever created. Check this out. I can just pull this right out, right? Let's do this. Oh shit, they broke. Not. They didn't break.
I thought for a moment
they have their own app. These things have their own app. The hardware and software was created by one guy. Michael Jordan invested. This guy, you never heard of him? Drake?
I think I've heard of Drake.
Kevin Hart?
Have you guys heard of Drake? I'm like, it sounds familiar, but I can't recall.
Kevin Hart, Vaughn Miller, Demaryius Thomas, and there's another guy from the Denver Broncos with Super Ring who was there who invested too today. We had Djokovic gave us money, Chris Paul gave us money. It's a sick. The music headphones, the best headphones ever created. That's the only thing I'm pitching today on your stream here.
And guys, he wore these all day today to ignore me and Deeb and everyone else needling at the table.
To be fair,
they must be good quality.
Okay, to be fair, after you and Deeb got to like drink number 7, and you're both on both sides of me.
True.
That was the first time where it was a little bit loud. But earlier in the day, I was just bummed out because I hate fucking losing, and so I'm sitting there going, I'm so depressed. I'm down 5,000. I'm so depressed. I'm down 10,000. It's not the money.
Yeah.
I just hate to lose.
Yeah, actually,
and that's what's made me a great poker player, is my hatred of losing. I hate it so much, I go to all costs to avoid losing. And so it has me playing pretty tight.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit earlier, and I was like, Phil, why do you get so mad when you lose? Is it all an act or not? And he was like, no, I just hate losing that much. And you know what? I understand, like, I don't like losing. The thing is, like, I realize in the long run, you get them. So part of the game is try and take it the best you can, but sometimes you just can't take it.
No, it's true. I mean, part of the game is being able to handle losing. It really is.
Yeah,
I've never been good at that. But here's the difference. Your generation, you play. Let's do the math. I play 30 hands an hour, all right, and I play 2 days a week. And so when I take bad beats, they hurt.
Yeah.
When I'm in a World Series tournament, we used to play 11 tournaments a night. People are like, oh, Phil played 1,000,000 tournaments. That's why it's the bracelets. No, I didn't play 1,000,000 tournaments. To my knowledge, I won 1 tournament in my life at the World Series with less than 100 players. 1, and it had 89. Or something like. But we played, and every beat mattered because you played for 10 days. And you took a bad beat 3 times, you're out of 3 tournaments. There's only 7 more bracelet events.
Yeah.
So I hated it. You guys grew up, all right, you're playing 10 screens. You're playing literally
Screens, not even tables.
screens. Yeah, you're playing 100 hands
Spoken
an hour
like an old
per
person.
screen.
You got 12 screens.
You're playing 1,000 hands per hour. You're like, oh, I took a really bad beat. Oh, I took a really bad beat. Oh, I took a really bad beat.
You can move on.
And you ignore it. You're like, all right,
You can move
whatever.
on.
But me, I'm like, I took a bad beat. Fuck this. And I'm like, it affects me. So I'm trying to explain the emotion.
Actually, at Upswing, we did an article where we looked at your results. Because, we needle you sometimes about some hands you play. But they were, legitimately fantastic. I mean, honestly, I was, kind of shocked. And you responded to us and you said, you had me buying in for more tournaments than I actually bought in for. I don't know if you remember this or not. But we had your ROI at some sick number. You're like, actually, technically, it's a little bit higher because I didn't register for these tournaments.
True.
So, you definitely have a skill in some of the fields that, and I say this, I have 2 bracelets. A humble amount of bracelets, but they're in big field events. I feel like you definitely have a skill in some of those large field tournaments to really maneuver your way through. What do you think gives you such an edge in those fields?
Well, I think it's interesting. You look at so Negreanu has this thing where they bid on they pay $12,000.
It might be kind of bad.
It's bad, it really is.
Well, Zach,
I take a lot of criticism for years about, you're not good at poker. The game's passed you by, all this bullshit. You're not good at Hold'em. These kids are better than you. But if you look at the math, in 2012, USA Today came out with an article. And they had everybody, and every poker player in the world had broken even or was small winner, and I was an outlier, way the fuck up here, right? And so when I tried to buy into the $1 million tournament, I sold that. I'm like, check out this article, boys.
Hey,
that's why I want a 10
your
or
boy
20%.
Phil Hellmuth up here.
That's right. That's why I want a fucking 10% free roll at least.
Yeah.
For that reason, and then they all paid it, and then I cashed. But I mean, so I mean, for me, my best results come when I keep my head down and I'm not too cocky. So what happens is I win all this shit. Everybody tells me how great I am. Every day people come to me. You don't understand, Doug. I'm not bragging. People come to me and they say, you're the person I aspire to be. You're the greatest poker player in history. I hear that all the time. And if you let it in, then you become cocky and you're not focused.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I need to be focused. And so I will say this, in 2015, a friend of mine asked me, Antonio Gracias, who helped Elon Musk out. You guys have heard of Elon Musk.
They've heard of Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk. He straightened Elon Musk out a little bit. He straightened some other friends out. He said, how many bracelets would you have without your wife? And I was staggered. I'm like, more! I wouldn't have 14, I'd have 18. He's like, well, think about that a minute. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Maybe I'd have 9. He's like, maybe I'd have 7.
Yeah.
And I realized, for the first time, it's not me that's achieving these great things. It's me and my wife. And once you realize that, you're not as cocky.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth, the golfer, does it. He's always, we did this, we did that, we won this, we won that. He's always referring to his caddy, maybe God. Some of us think God, we don't know. But because it's multiple people are accomplishing, you're not as staggered egotistically wise. So
you actually have been on record saying that before.
Right, but then I played together, her being by my side, allowing me the freedom to accomplish, allowing me the freedom to create, and allowing me the freedom to kind of move forward with my life. And so because of that, I've had some great months in December and January this year. I've won a lot of money. And then I went to LA to fuck around in $300 and $500 blind tournaments. Now, normally my ego, hanging out with all these amazing masters of the universe, winning all this money would fuck me up. But I think I went and played $300, $500 blind tournaments. I won 2 tournaments in a week, just fucking around there. It was pretty cool. And so that kind of tells me. And then, unfortunately, my wife's mother died, 96 years old.
I'm sorry. You
96
didn't
years
even
old.
say that until right now.
Well, she spent 21 days with her mom. My wife's a doctor, and she dropped everything and went there. Her mom's 96, and I spent 10 days supporting her. I skipped the Bay 101.
That's really nice.
I skipped
You
the
skipped the
WPT,
Bay 101.
LAPC.
That's a good guy right there, guys. Skip the
I
Bay
couldn't
101.
wait to play the Bay 101 and the frickin' LAPT main event. I just won 2 tournaments. I'm gonna win one of these WPTs finally. But it was the right move. It was
Yeah,
easy.
for your
I was there
family.
10 days for my wife.
Yeah.
Perfect. We
You know-
flew the kids in, and so family number one, big for me. And then so what? I mean, I'll play another WPT, whatever, in a month or two. It's all good, you know?
It's all good.
So going through that process of seeing someone 96 years old, you think of the knowledge that you accumulate throughout your life. And at the end, none of it matters. At the end, you're 96 years old, you're lying and laugh. Every time she saw me, her face lit up. So I provide
Many rivers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But honestly, just to like talk about my experience, like, so my girlfriend Caitlin, she is like the most supportive person of me and like of poker. And when I have to stream or like I have to do something poker related, and if you don't have that backbone, I feel like someone that's gonna support you no matter like what you have to do. It's really hard because poker's taxing. Sometimes you go through periods of time where like, you know, you lose a lot or you're down or you struggle. And having someone there for you that you know has your back, that's a really important part of poker. So I think that's definitely essential to like succeeding in poker, you know?
I was honored today when Sean Deeb said something about me being his idol. I was hoping that he was talking about me, and talking about how
He might have been trolling. I'm not totally sure.
Well, no, because then he talked about how I helped him stay with his wife.
Okay. I must have missed that part of the conversation.
Yeah, and so then I felt like, because the one thing I preach to the poker players is fucking be loyal.
Yeah,
be
for
loyal.
sure.
Don't cheat on your girl.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's support. You want that. You want to be able to tell them everything. I've never cheated on my wife. 27 fucking years. I mean, and my wife doesn't like it when I say that.
Yeah.
But to me, it's an honor to be able to say that. And I've been close. I've been close.
If Phil is hanging out with someone at 3 a.m, it's with me on YouTube. So we're good to go.
Well, I'm allowed to go to a strip club, but the point is I've never cheated on her.
Right.
Nothing's ever. No one's. So it's been. I feel like that's important, and then I can share all of my truths with my wife.
Yeah.
And she can help me with the downs and the ups.
Yeah.
You know? And you need help on both of them, by the way. It's not just the downs where you need help. It's also the ups. Because when you go down, then you want to drink a little bit more or do whatever.
Don't worry, I drink every day equally.
And when you have the ups, you want to celebrate. So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, having my wife there, and it's been 27 years, it's been just huge for me. And I recognize it, and it's important. And so that's the one thing I told Sean. Don't cheat on your wife. Just be completely, loyal to her. Be true to her.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, man. I mean, if you can do that, you never have to lie in your life.
Phil,
never lying is powerful.
I completely agree. Also, like, I feel like, at least for some of the viewers, when you're on TV, I feel like you just get so, like, you want to win so badly. But, like, I've hung out with Phil a bunch, like, today, and, like, you're just a normal dude, man. You're just, like, a cool, normal, laid-back guy. Except when we're at the table, you like, flip out over some shit sometimes. What like, gets the best of you there?
Honestly, now you're asking some good questions. You're paying attention. You're right. I mean, I do get, like, at the table, sometimes I'm just, like, flipped out over nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, someone said something funny. I think you said, Phil, what are you mad at me about? And I said, well, you didn't do anything wrong. And you're like, why are you mad at me? And I'm like, sometimes I'm just mad.
I remember that. You said that. You're like, Doug, I'm mad at you. I'm like, what I do? You're like, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, I don't know how to feel right now.
When I told you didn't do anything wrong, I think you smiled.
Yeah,
Said, okay,
yeah.
It's just Phil being insane.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
I'm easy going. Dude, I can always take a needle, whatever.
There's that insanity of just like hating to lose pots. Is it insanity?
Yeah.
I'm watching you win 80,000. I was playing poker in Hollywood, right? Some big movie stars there. I probably shouldn't mention names. I won't mention names.
All right, don't mention names.
I got a guy next to me is 2,600. I don't want to get it wrong. Maybe it was 3,500. Right? He's on my left.
Someone here in the chat might have been there and can verify it, so you want to be careful.
Okay, whatever. I don't think so. But this is a CEO of a major company. He has like 3,500 in front of him, and I'm sitting with like 10K in front of me, and the other guys have $250,000, 400, whatever. And this guy on my left turns, I'm gonna say, $2,800 into $350,000. And I'm just fucking watching. And I'm fighting for my fucking life. I'm playing so fucking tight. I'm never out of line. I win a huge pot with queens because I played super aggressively, and it comes jack high, and I win the max. And at the end of the night, I'm down 12K. And this guy's lost back a little bit. He cashes in like 320. And I'm just like, what the fuck? fuck, why couldn't it have been me? There's $1 million thrown away at this table right in front of my
Unbelievable,
eyes.
yeah.
And I end up losing $12K? That's not fair.
Yeah.
And I know that night I played fantastic. And when I look back sometimes I'm like, okay, I didn't play as good as I thought I did. Or I played bad. Or I did this or I did that. I lost $140K last year in May. I threw it away. I lost 100 last year. I threw it away. That happens. But to have, this guy win all this money and me feel like I played perfect. So today I made one mistake when we played today. I got overplayed a little king four.
I was there for the mistake.
Whatever.
Phil got really aggressive with king 4 offs. Do you want to tell the hand?
I don't want to talk about the one mistake, but I gave myself max opportunity for hours to win a lot of money.
I like that spot, by the way, but the hand choice, not Doug Polk approved.
Yeah, well, my problem is sometimes lately I've had opposite read. An opposite read is the worst read you can have. That's where you see a guy raise 10 in a row and something's wrong on the 10th time and you re-raise him. That's the time they actually have it.
Oh.
And opposite read for me is the worst. And I had it against Sean because someone raised, the girl at the table raised, what's her name? Great girl. She raised, and then Sean made it 800. And I thought I was going to make it 800. So Sean's bluffing, I'm going to make it 2,400. But whatever, so I kind of threw away 4,800 on that hand, recklessly. But I gave myself a chance with a lot of money being thrown away today to win 20 or 30,000. I had great patience, and it just didn't happen.
I mean, it's the kind of table today that I think where, if you're gonna buy in for smaller amounts, very easy in that game to run up a bunch of money. Honestly, I mean, like, easy for me to say I won like 75 or whatever $1,000 today, but like seriously, like the game was playing huge, and getting to be able to jam in some of those spots where people are like overplaying makes sense. Phil tried to get me with ace queen. I had the kings and I flopped a set, so I got him, and then a little more money was added to the pot as well.
Fuck.
But I know what you're saying. Like, it's a good game to have a chance to run it up. Like,
well,
I guess,
that hand was. I'll talk about that hand. That hand was
Go for
annoying. I think there was. Let's see, a live blind, another live blind, and there was maybe 2 live blinds.
It's so hard.
So we're playing 25,
I think
50.
I think it was two straddles, yeah.
Two straddles. So the 200's on, I have ace queen. And I'm like, I have the super aggressive Doug Polk to my left. And to my double left, I didn't think that Olivier was playing, Bousquet was playing really well today. I felt like played pretty well today.
He played solid. I think he played solid.
He played solid. Let's just leave it at that. I like the way he played. And we had Jeremy, who was jamming a lot of pots.
Yeah, Jeremy was in the mix.
And so
he was
I limped in
mix.
with ace queen, and I said, I'm going to re-jam one of these guys. I've got you, Olivier, and Jeremy, who was gambling and lost like 50,000 today. And so I limp in with ace queen. And of course, you raise it. Jeremy calls. It's back to me. You raise it like 1,200, and I'm like, sweet! 4,800 all in, or 4,900 all in. Yes, I have ace queen high. Of course, I'm just hoping to clear the field.
Yeah,
now you call.
Of course.
Even after you call, I'm thinking it could be jacks.
It could be, or 9s, or ace queen 2, or like, yeah,
right.
or ace jack suited.
You didn't re-jam, which I mean, I think you might have re-jammed with ace king there, but maybe not.
I wanted to, honestly, from my perspective, like, I think I would not re-jam anything there because I wanted Jeremy to like get in the mix. By the way, the chat is going fucking ballistic right now. What's up, guys? But I really wanted Jeremy to have a chance to get in there with ace king specifically. I might jam just to kind of isolate, but in general with my strong hands, I mean, I'm not lying, I had kings. In general, my strong hands,
no shit.
I want to call because Jeremy might get in behind. But you
right now, here's the difference between you and a lot of guys. A lot of guys have been fucking this hand up, in my opinion. I've been raising people in. I've been winning a fortune. Everybody else raises people out. When I have aces or kings or queens, I'm raising them in. I'm raising enough where they can call it now.
Yeah.
So I stopped massive re-raising. I'm just re-raising enough where I want them all to call. Because you know what? When I have queens and it comes jack 9 deuce, I want to get a lot of money in that
for
pot.
Sure.
And if they happen to have jack 9, fine, then maybe I didn't raise enough according to some people later. But I've won a fortune raising people in. So I like your smooth call with kings. Now here's the shitty thing for me. It comes ace, king, jack. So even if I just called you 1,200, I'm going broke. I'm toast, man.
But that's on a smaller stack. You know that. Like, on a smaller stack, part of the game is if you flop top pair, it's going to kind of be it, you know?
Yeah. It's toasty. So ace, king, jack. And then it goes check, check, check on the flop. Now I'm all in. And then the turn you fired out, a 6 spades came, and I thought maybe a set of 6s. He probably has me. But I mean, there were still some hands. You could have ace queen. Maybe
queen's well chopped. Yeah,
maybe you're overplaying ace 10 suited.
Maybe.
No, probably not. Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I felt like, all right, I'm probably in trouble.
But at this point, you're just sweating, man.
Then he jams it.
Yeah, then you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
But he jams it with 10-9 high on an ace king jack 6 board. And then you kind of show your hand to me as you're deciding whether you want to call. Is this you? As you're just saying, do I really have kings? Yes, I do. I call. I'm like, fuck.
When that happened, I was like, okay, so he can't ever bluff because it's a dry side pot. So there's no way he's bluffing. He's got to have like ace something.
You might have folded ace jack. If you had ace jack, you might have folded.
No, ace queen. I probably would have folded. Yeah. If I had an ace queen and we would have been chopping, and I folded because he ripped it. And by the way, some of these people, they know what's up in the chat. What's up, guys? But if I had ace queen, I'd bet, and he jammed. How sick would that have been?
I know. I was just thinking.
I was thinking we didn't talk about. Yeah.
You and I didn't talk about this earlier, but I was thinking the same thing. If you had ace queen and he jams you out of there, and I get to scoop this.
Oh my god, that would have been insane.
Sweet.
That would have been nuts.
But no, you have a fucking set of kings, and so one more big pot, you win. Fuck.
I mean, look, guys. Like at the end of the day. I'm sure some of you guys saw, like a month ago, we were on live with the bike. I had a really bad day. I had a really good day. And today, you know, on Poker Night in America, sometimes the cards go your way. I mean, that's the thing. Like, especially when you play my style, like I'm aggressive. I'm in the mix. You guys know I'm in the mix. Like, when you're playing aggressive and getting in there a bunch, and you get a bunch of big hands, you're gonna win a lot of money unless people suck out. And they didn't today. And that's like what happens sometimes when you play those kinds of situations. You know.
It's exactly true. I used to be, it's funny, I used to be the most aggressive no limit hold'em player in the world.
Must have been a while ago.
Yeah, but when I advanced beyond that, I realized I didn't have to do that anymore. I could just win all the money by playing more patiently. I could just win these tournaments by patience, and then my natural aggression shows up once I get to, so what would happen was, we'd have like, I don't know, 1,600 players in a tournament. When we got down to the final 100, they were all nitballers. Yeah. And then I could just start playing. So, I mean, patience is a huge part of my game. That's why I've crushed all these years. But in the old days, I used to just be super fast. And when I had a great day, I won a lot of money, you know, and so, you know, I mean, I was expecting you to overplay your hands today. And I was expecting to trap you 4 or 5 times. You were smart and stayed out of my way.
You tried. I saw some.
Well, I did limp in with a bunch. There were 3 times where I looked at just an ace and limped under the gun. Under the gun, and of course you raise with king, queen, or king 10 right behind me, you know. But I would never limp with. I'm never going to be limping with 8-9 suited in that game under the gun because you guys are too aggressive.
Bad game to do that.
Correct. So each time I looked at a 3 or a 4, I called you and I ended up losing those spots, or I just folded before the flop. Yeah, but I had some great opportunities. You opened so many of those hands. I was like, if I have ace, king, or ace, queen, I'm just going to rejam and win it.
Would have been a good situation. All right, let's take a few last questions here for Phil Hellmuth. You guys get to hear me all the time. Let me know what your questions are. I will read them. The good ones. We'll take 2 or 3. I don't want to go too nuts. It's late here. It's already what? It's already 3 a.m. No, how are we still at this restaurant right now? All right. So what do we got? Here's one from Uncommon Shots. Phil, what are your hobbies?
I mean, it's so funny. I used to answer this question. I don't have hobbies. Hobbies used to be my family and business. No, I do golf. Okay. I do golf. Now, these days it's changed. These days it's changed because I feel like I've had some really good financial security. So I played basketball 3 times in the last week.
Well, you're really tall, so that has to help you.
Played hoops with my friends 3 times in the last week. Today's Thursday, so I played, 3 times in the last week. Before I went to South by Southwest, before I went to Philadelphia, where we are right now.
Yeah. Shooting some b-ball outside of the school. And
but I'm having fun too. I'm going for walks with my friends. So I have a couple of great friends, right? Bill Lee, Chamath Palihapitiya, David Sachs, and these guys are masters of the universe. And so I go for walks with them. I hang out with their kids, which maybe people think I'm weird or something, but they have young kids, and it's kind of fun to be. I'll be over at Bill's house just chilling. We watch a little NBA. The kids are running in and out. We're giving the kids high fives.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. So, I mean, I feel like my boys are 23, 26, so I'm feeling like I'm kind of become a little bit a part of some of my friends' families.
Gotcha.
That's been fun.
Yeah.
And then you know, my wife and I have been having some amazing time together lately. That's been as my wife and I rekindle all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've never cheated on her, as I already mentioned in this broadcast.
You don't have to keep saying I got.
But I love that shit, and
Yeah.
I still drool over.
I respect
her.
that.
I drool over her. I mean, and so just the last week, there's just been a ton of cuddling for Hannah. She lost her mother, and so there's been some cuddling
sucks.
there. And so it feels like we've reconnected, and we're almost starting anew again. It's great.
That's cool. It's good. It's good you guys had that after so long.
Exactly. And so for me, you know, I film all day tomorrow. Poker Night in America stream. You're on
Yes,
the
some of
commentary.
us don't get to play every day.
And then I think I'm playing in the tournament on Sunday, day 2. You know, when I come to do events, oftentimes I'm paid $25, $30. You get $50,000 a day for a lot of the corporate events I do, $25K a day for some charity events. So sometimes when I come do stuff, you know, my business partners will do things for me that's fun. But when I go home Monday, I'm planning on just chilling.
Nice. It's good to get that time in. By the way, guys, you heard that 50,000. If you're looking to have Phil Hellmuth drop by, super casual rate. All right, let's get 1 or 2 more questions in here before we go. People are just spamming it in. Okay, here's a good one actually. Phil Hellmuth, what are your current thoughts on the Tom Dwan situation? Do you have anything you want to say on like
What is
kind
the
of
Tom Dwan
because
situation? Tell me what that is.
Okay, so there's a quote that you said, and I made a joke on this on my channel for some of the original fans of this channel.
That he wouldn't be around 5 years later?
Where he wouldn't be around in 5 years, and I did a joke where I showed that clip, and then I was like, "Oh, Phil, oh shit," and that's the joke I made. And then, you know, here we are now, and like, you know, he at least at bare minimum has the jungle debt that, like, I mean, I've called it a scam directly because, like, in my book, if you dodge someone for 7 years when you owe them a side bet like that, that's a scam.
He owes Jungle Man money?
Well, they had a side bet on the Dur challenge,
But they didn't finish, right?
but they didn't finish because for the last 7 years he's been like dodging.
Okay.
So, and I know we have different opinions. We talked about this
Right.
earlier too, but what are your thoughts on with Dur in general? Maybe even that challenge, just your general thoughts on the situation, and do you feel maybe you were right when you said that? Because that was a pretty iconic moment. I remember as a young player, I was like, fucking Phil Hellmuth, it's Tom Dwan, he's the shit. And now, like, I'm a little older, and I look at the situation, I'm like, you know.
Well, all right.
Here we are.
I have a couple comments. All right, number one, a lot of the great players from the internet have disappeared. There was one guy that all the internet guys said, this is the best player in history. He's won all this money in the live games. He's won all this money online in the cash games. He's won all this money in the tournaments. He's the greatest player ever. And the guy was gone a year later. Now, for 2-3 years, he disappeared. I think I saw him 4 years later playing 200, 400. And I was like, what the hell? How? I mean, this guy disappeared.
Confirmed busto.
I was like, what the fuck? So, but when it comes to Duan, I heard Duan, there's 2 things. One, I heard that he's been playing in Macau, super huge stakes. And him and the chairman, who's a very famous...
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
Him and the chairman trade $1 million debts like it's fucking water. Here's $1 million, here's $1 million. I already won $50 million in one night, in fact. Or
Sick.
$36 million in one night. So...
That's insane.
And I don't know if
Hong
any
Kong
of that's
or
true.
U.S.?
Macau.
Okay, Macau. So like, it's like 5-ish million for the people that don't know.
I'm talking about like 30 million US in one night.
Wow.
This is what I heard. Or 18 million.
We're gonna change this to a clickbait title after the video.
So then I know this. My friends were in Cabo about 2 weeks ago. They invited me, hey Phil, hop on the fucking G5 with us to Cabo. I should have probably gone, but instead I wanted to go study poker and get better. I spent a week at the Commerce working my ass off. You know, just getting better at every game. And I just felt, because I thought, if I have the best record in Hold'em, you know, at this point, and maybe someone will pass me, and all of a sudden I'm considered the best Raz player in the world out of nowhere. 2 firsts and a second in the World Series tournaments in the last 5 years.
Your stud results, like in what I analyzed in your World Series of studs, Raz, all the stud games, are exceptionally good.
So then why shouldn't I become the best Omaha 8 better and the best stud 8 better players in the world? So I worked my ass off at those games. And the best deuce to 7 no limit player. Why not become great at all those games? Why not become the best at all those games? So I worked my ass off for 10, 12 days. So I didn't go to Cabo, but I will say this. My friends ran into Tom Dwan in Cabo at a restaurant.
Wow.
And then they saw him getting on a private jet. So I imagine he has some money.
Probably doing pretty well then. All right, let's take one more. My phone is going to die. Here we go. One last question. I know you guys are spamming them in here. It's hard to even read how fast they're going in. Hey, what's up is not going to be the question we're going to answer here, and that's just mean. Man, you guys are really mean.
People can be mean to me. Like, it's okay.
Oh, trust me. I think that one was aimed at me. So finally here. All right, I'm trying to think about which one's the best. We have time for one more question.
Dude, you have you have like 4 questions a second coming in.
One last question. I'm looking for good ones, though. Only so many good ones.
That's fair.
What are your thoughts on Will Kassouf? Because I'm sure you saw the speech play.
I know all about that.
What do you think? Where is he going? Where's the future? And we only have a few % battery left, so just quick answer, and we'll call it sesh.
All right, I really, personally, I like what Will Kossuth did in general. Okay, so if you talk to the players that were there, they were annoyed as fuck, and they're like, this guy's horrible for poker. What an asshole. This guy's horrible. But from my perspective, and I think from Daniel Negreanu's perspective, although he hates it when I speak for him, but I think from both of our perspectives, Will Kossuth was good for poker. His speech play was good. Now, so Daniel would maybe say he's a net positive, but I'll go further, and I'll say that he was more than a net positive. I just needed him to change his shtick.
I agree.
In other words,
I agree.
If you're going to use the same line 100 times, and I was teasing Antonio about this the last time we filmed something together. I'm like, come up with some new lines, motherfucker. You know, Antonio Esfandiari, come up with some new lines. And I was really taking him to task over that. So if Kassouf comes up with new lines, new material, it's good. It's bad. He's bad for poker in that he slows the game down too much.
That was bad. It was actually downright bad during the World Series.
Correct.
He was taking minutes of decision sometimes.
Correct.
I got made fun of the table for taking 7 seconds. Minutes is totally unbearable.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have listened to that criticism because you didn't really do anything wrong today. But Kassouf took way too long, so that's really bad. So he's gonna fix that, I think, because he's reasonable. And if he doesn't fix it, we're gonna fucking start. He's gonna get fucking like penalty after penalty after penalty, because that's bad for poker. Will Kassouf, bad for poker. Don't fucking take our time like this anymore. Continue your speech play. I think it's brilliant, but add some new lines. Don't say the same thing over and over and over again, 24/7. You know, it feels like some amateur thinking that if I say the same line, I'm going to get lucky all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. You repeat the same thing. You can't do that for.
You got to mix it up. All right.
Add some new stuff. Add some new stuff, Kassouf. I have no problem with you.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. My phone is going to die. I want to thank Phil Hellmuth for joining me today. Any last words you want to say here, Phil?
No, but hey, Doug, I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you today.
I'm trying to shake hands while streaming, guys.
and you know, I enjoyed hanging out today with man, I'm just so tired, dude. It's 3 a.m. right now.
Olivier, Shanti, Jeremy.
Olivier Bousquet and I have had he's the one who I've had more arguments maybe with in public than anybody, and believe me, that's not many. I don't really argue with people.
We're going to die.
But Olivier Bousquet, I really enjoyed him today. I was able to shake his hand.
Great guy.
He's a really nice guy. He's heard I'm a nice guy, so everything's smooth.
I got to end. Otherwise, all right, guys. Peace. We'll see you later. Sorry, my phone's going to die, and I want to make sure that